What is up, and welcome to my first photocard collection video. I started collecting photocards towards the beginning of 2020, and when I say collecting, I mean just buying and trading random cards and buying a lot of albums and trading for my biases. One of my goals, if you will, for 2021 is to take collecting a little bit more seriously. I really want to focus on completing collections that I've started or actually working towards completing. I know a lot of them have a long way to go. You'll see as we get through it and how I collect. We have a long way to go, but that's okay. That's part of the fun, part of the journey. It's gonna be a great time. As of right now, I do have 3 binders. This first binder is my main binder. It's 17, as you can probably already tell. I am attempting to collect OT13 as they are my alt group. We do have a long way to go. We're just gonna get that out of the way now. But it hasn't even been a year of me collecting them, so it's okay. It's fun. I'm excited for what this year will hold with this binder. We're gonna get that one out of the way though, because we're gonna go through her last. This next binder is my Monsta X binder. They are my second old group, and I initially started off wanting to collect OT7. I got really overwhelmed with that though. So right now the goal is to collect my 2 biases, Changyun and Hyungwon, from debut through follow, and then I've already started collecting MX6 from then on, so that's kind of what I want to keep up for now, but I am keeping any cards of the other members that I've already collected because eventually I do want to work towards OT7. This last binder and the first one that we're going to go through is everything else. I'm very much a multi-stan. I stan anyone and everyone, sometimes it feels like. That's okay. I've rethought a lot in the last few months on how I want to collect a lot of the groups that I stan, if I want to collect a lot of the groups that I stan, if I wanted to get rid of some of the collections. It's changed a lot, but that's okay. We're working with it, and it's bound to change more, but that's why I want to film these videos, so that I can see where it started this year and how it changes and grows over the next year. This binder is about to change as well because I will be moving my girl groups. There aren't many, but I will be moving them to their own binder after I film this video. I recently made the decision that I wanted to collect OT9 twice. They are my alt girl group. If you couldn't tell, I really like collecting full groups for my alt groups. It's a blessing and a curse. I love them all so much. There are just so many of them, but it's okay. So far, it's been a lot of fun. I have a whole stack of cards that have come from Mercari Japan that I have not put away yet because I do want to film a video setting up my twice binder and putting them away in that video. I also have other cards from other groups that I have set aside because I want to save those up and film videos putting them away. So this is just what we came into 2021 with. So let's get into this first binder. I'm also going to change out all of my binders. Most of them are just old binders that I found around my house when I was living at home during quarantine. And they're looking a little rough, not gonna lie. So I do plan on changing them all out. I think I'm gonna switch to white binders, and I'll probably rethink how I decorate them. But for now, they kind of just, the covers hold things that just don't fit. They just, everything falls around, especially in this one. So there's just random stuff from different groups that are in this binder. So the first group in this binder is Blackpink. I don't technically collect Blackpink, but I did buy 2 copies so far of the album, so I just kept my pulls from that. I also don't really have a bias in Blackpink. I bias all 4 of them now, so I just kept my pulls and didn't worry about trading them. Next up, we have the beginning of my Twice collection. Right now, all I have in here are my polls from my Eyes Wide Open copies. I have one of each version. So I put those cards away, but they will be moving into a new binder very soon. Next in this binder, we have Astro. They are a group that I don't think I'm going to continue collecting. I started collecting my top 3 for All Light because it's one of my favorite concepts I think any group has ever done, but I got this far and then I just kind of stopped. So I don't think I'll be continuing collecting them. I really wanted to collect all 3 of them from All Light forward, but it's a group that, while I still stan, I don't know if I'm going to continue to collect. Next up in this binder, we have Baekhyun. He's one of my favorite soloists as well as one of my biases in EXO. I haven't really worked too hard on this collection. It's really just whatever I've pulled. This one I did trade for, but it's one collection that I do want to work on more this year. Next up, we have the boys. I have changed how I want to collect the boys so many times before I even started my collection. I think what I have settled on for now is to collect Jacob. I do have almost his entire set from this album on the way from wayyyy. It's just not here yet. So this is what we have to start with. Eventually, I do want to collect my top 3, which are Sunwoo, Jacob, and Chongmin. But for right now, we're working on Jacob because less stress. Next, we have GOT7. My bias is Youngjae, so I have traded some of my polls for Youngjae. JB is my second bias, and I'm heavily considering collecting him. I just don't know yet, but I did keep my one poll just in case. And I also pulled this Yu-Gi-Oh, which is one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That outfit was my favorite outfit for anyone in the whole die concept, so I couldn't give it up. Next, we have NCT. NCT is my original ult group. I don't ult them anymore, but I definitely still stan. NCT 127 is probably my best collection out of all of them. I collect my top 3, which are Johnny, Jaehyun, and Mark. For Dream, I want to collect my top 3, which are Jaemin, Jeno, and Jisung. And then for wayyyy as well, I wanted to collect my top 3. As you can probably guess, I really like the way it looks when you collect 3 members. I love a full page, so I'd love to collect my top 3 for wayyyy as well, which would be 10, Young, and Hendry. I haven't even begun that collection. It is off in the distance, but eventually I would like to get there. For now, like I said, 127 is probably my most complete collection. Right now with a lot of groups, I start collecting when I started stanning. That way I don't have to think too much about everything that has happened before I started stanning. I can focus on the more current eras, complete those, and then eventually work my way back. So we started with Superhuman for 127. I'm so close, yet so far it feels like, but we will get there. Like I said, we have a long ways to go. We just have one Jaemin card for Dream, but you know, it's okay. For NCT 2020, I want to collect all of those 9 members because, again, we love a full page. I do have Hendry's entire set on the way, just not here yet, but I haven't even started working on the other members because if you collect really any SM group, but especially NCT, you know it's not cheap and it can be a little bit difficult. So it's not a super high priority for me, but it's something that I do want to slowly work on this year. Next up we have Super M. I thought about keeping this with Baekhyun since Baekhyun is clearly my bias, but 10 is probably my second bias, and when I pulled this card, I almost cried because of its beauty. So we kept it, and we're just gonna keep this page like this for now. Next we have Treasure. Treasure is another group that I want to work a lot more on this year with their collection. I do want to collect my top 3, which are Haruto, Yoshi, and Jungyu. Right now I've just been trading my pulls, buying a few sets if I can find them on Mercari, but we do have a long way to go. And these last few pages in this binder are just some photo cards of my biases that I originally wanted to collect, but no longer really plan on collecting fully, so I just keep the cards that I have right now because I don't really want to give them up. And then if I buy albums from these groups, I plan on just trading for my biases as much as I can. And that is it for this binder. All right, next up is my Monsta X binder. I do have it set up for the most part for collecting my top 2. When I get the cards, I will probably remove the fillers that I made. I don't really feel the need to have them anymore, but for now they are helpful so that if I buy random cards, I know exactly where they're gonna go. This is definitely a collection I really want to focus on this year because there is so much for me to collect. I think once I finally get started, it will be a lot of fun. I do have Hyungwon's entire follow set on the way, so that is really exciting. And then, like I said, I do want to collect MX6 going forward. I probably, again, won't keep these fillers at the bottom, and I'll end up just doing 2, 2, 2 for each page. But for now, they're still there because I just haven't really felt like taking them out, and I still don't have a lot of the cards, so it kind of helps fill out the pages for now. I am only missing Minhyuk Standee. I do have, I think, a Juhan and maybe another one up for trade on my Depop. If you have one, a Minhyuk, and you want to trade it or you want to sell it to me, let me know. That is the only one I need to complete the set. I do have quite a few Fatal Love cards either on the way or they just got here and I have them set aside. So this collection will be growing very soon. And I do also have Wano in this binder, obviously. I don't know how fully I want to collect Wano yet. I'd love to be able to collect every single one of his cards, but I do know that that would be a pretty extensive journey. So right now I will just buy his albums and keep my pulls and then trade any duplicates. And this last page is just freebies that people have given me, and I don't feel like putting them anywhere else, so that is where they live. And that is it for my Monsta X binder. Last but certainly not least, we have the big boy. My 17 binder. Definitely my favorite binder, the most fun I've had so far. This binder is definitely my pride and joy, if you will. Again, I know I keep saying this, there's a long way to go. Collecting OT13, starting collecting in their 5th year after debut, like, that's insane. There's so much to collect, but I feel like I've made a decent little dent in the short amount of time that I've been working on it, and I'm truly adding to it every day. So I'm very excited to see how this collection grows this year. The way I have this one set up is a little different. Jonghan is my ultimate bias. He's my bias in 17. He's my ultimate bias. I love him more than life itself. I keep his cards at the front separate. So I do have his section set up for all of his cards. I found that it's a lot easier to set up pages for 12 members than it is for 13. So it makes it a lot easier to keep his separately at the front of the binder, and I have everyone else following. Right now, all the cards kind of just live together. They're still in order of era, but I don't have them necessarily split up era by era yet. I will do that as I continue to get cards. So let's get into it. I do have both of these cards, so I've already removed the fillers. I just haven't put them in yet because I just got them in my last Neokyo order. This is by far my favorite Jonghan card, probably to exist, and the one fan sign card that I searched and searched for and was super excited to finally. For semicolons, since there are only 2 album cards, I really do want to try and get some of his fan sign cards. They tend to be way more expensive than I want to pay for a single card, so we have yet to work on that, but we'll see what we're able to find. I at least want to get his HMV cards to put here, and then we'll see where we can go from there. This page is where we start with the other 12 members. Like I said, I still have them in order of era. They're just all together for now until I get more cards for each album. My goal for these lenticulars when I started was to collect my top 3, which are Jonghan, Josh, and Mingyu, and then fill in the 4th with, if I pulled another member or if I just found another member in like a set of cards, I would get it. So far, the only other member that I have outside of the 3 are Wonu, and I've got a few of his, so it works out. Now the rest of the binder is more special items. So these are the 3 cards I pulled in my OTU in Seoul tour DVD. And then we have my OT13 sets. So we have the Hengare K-Town For You pre-order set. And we have the OTU Off the Record photo book set. Then we have some Carrotland 2020 merch. This card was a win. They knew what they were doing when they sent me the set. And then we finally get into this year's season's greetings, which is definitely some of my favorite stuff they've ever put out. This concept, it got me. It definitely got me, and blah Josh. That's all. I don't need to say anything else. And that is it for my 17 binder. And also my entire photo card collection for the start of 2021. I'm super excited to see how my collection grows and changes throughout this next year, and I can't wait to start making videos to kind of track my progress. So if you're watching this, I hope you stick around. I have a lot planned on the way. But anyways, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.